I gotta say is F the work week, as in forget the work week. It's Friday, baby, and we about to make it a happy Friday. My name is Arthur Rawe, bringing in your Friday morning energy correct. And even if you're listening on Saturday, thanks for tuning in, and thank you so much for supporting us here on the Discussion Combustion YouTube channel. Your home, a happy Friday, America. DCPC, mash the gas, and that raw talk, little rant that I had back a year ago. Actually, it was about a year ago. So happy to be here. We got a fun episode this week for you, and of course, all those hooligans, all those slackers out there, they don't want to hear from Accountable Kev.
Happy Friday, America. Yes, it's time to be held accountable, and someone's got to do it. So Accountable Kev is here to kick off your weekend, right, guys? It's end of month, end of February. We're on to March, if you can believe that, Art. But hey, let's close out this month. Let's close out this week with a little bit of history.
Man, I cannot believe that March is already here. And in 1844, we're going to cover February 28th in history. So 1844, a 12-inch gun aboard the USS Princeton explodes. Now, this was kind of a crazy event because it killed a lot of high-ranking officials in the U.S. Federal Official Department, whatever that is. And so there's multiple people that died from that. I'm not going to go through the list, but what a tragedy. 1849, the very first boatload of gold rush prospectors arrived in San Francisco from the East Coast. Everyone was gold hungry. You know, they wanted a rollie like Tony Soprano. Nice gold piece.
Think about Denver. This is like the gold rush, one of the biggest gold rushes in the country. That's why they call them the Denver Nuggets.
You can still find gold in the Denver mountains. I've actually went up there in
Idaho Springs.
A little bit, yeah. It's up there still.
If you go on the riverbanks, they say like on where the river curves, you get your thing in there. You catch a little bit of gold flakes. I've never done it.
It's fun. It's a great time with the kids. I don't have any, thank God. Or you could bring a girl up there, your girl, whatever you want to do.
It's beautiful.
So I'm going to keep it on some sad news.
Okay.
So 1888, there is an angel number in there, 888. That's an infinity angel number. You're welcome. But unfortunately, on this day in 1888, a ferry in San Pablo Bay explodes. I was trying to find.
Do we know why?
No, I didn't do any other research on that. I was trying to find things in history of where things exploded. There was a lot of nuclear explosions.
No nuke news, huh?
No, it's in there, but it's still the Nevada test site in the Simpiat.
Yeah, bring that over here. Get that out of here.
It's old shit.
Have we done it?
But there was, I forget the date because I didn't write it down, but at one point there was a nuclear treaty signed. It was like the Nevada CM Pack to decommission the CM Pack or whatever, a nuclear test site in Russia. And eventually closed that location, which I believe was closed in 1998. So that's kind of interesting.
Wow.
1984, 26th Grammy Awards. Michael Jackson wins 8 Grammys.
That's pretty impressive.
I mean, dude, he was the king of pop, baby.
Yeah,
for a reason.
I still listen to Michael Jackson. MJ is a solid lad.
Yeah, and honestly, some of the best music we've ever heard. Honestly, it's good stuff.
It's hard to argue with it.
And then 1995. I can't believe it took this long. Well, we used to have the Stapleton Airport, but in 1995, DIA, Denver International Airport, opens and also opens the floodgates at the exact same time for a slew of different conspiracy theories.
The DIA conspiracy is pretty funny. I'm actually going to be driving out to DIA here in just a few hours on this Friday, so going out for a visit to see Lucifer.
Okay.
The famous horse out there that scares the shit out of everybody.
He does. You fly, you land in Denver, you're like, oh, it's so beautiful. Where are the mountains? I can't see them this far in the prairies. And then all of a sudden you see this.
It's way out there. For people who haven't visited Denver, if you come into DIA, you're like, where the fuck's the city? You're like, oh, we got to cruise 30 minutes in.
It's quite a ways.
It's a nice airport.
And that is Today in History. Now, what is the lead article this week?
We're leading off with my dumbass of the week. And guess what? It comes from my home state, New Hampshire. Back-to-back weeks with the 603s making the news here, guys. I'm not really proud to say that this did take place in my home state, but it was too ridiculous not to make the show. Dumbass of the week is a female by the name of Kelly.
This was a female doing this.
This was Kelly Tedford. You're my dumbass of the week. 23-year-old woman from Keene, New Hampshire was arrested last week, Art, for going around and urinating on products and goods in local stores. The Keene Police Department has launched a huge investigation into it. Obviously, there's been a ton of merchandise that has been destroyed, cleaning costs, things of that nature. Not only that, people bought some of this merch, and so now they're having to return it. Like there's fucking piss stains on it. It's a complete disaster. So they did find her. She has been arrested. And, the Keene Police Department is still, if you've been involved with it, if you have additional information, 603-357-9813 is where you go ahead and give them a call. Dumbass of the week.
See, when I briefly skimmed through this article before recording, I assumed this was a dude. So, like,
nope.
What, she was wearing a skirt or she was dropping trow? Like,
I don't know how she was doing it. Yeah, I don't know how she was doing it, but there was, she was posting disturbing videos on it about it as well.
Well,
this was an attention grab kind of thing.
Do we know what led to? Like, she just wanted attention, or was she like upset at the store or something?
No, I think it was just, look at what these guys are doing now. Like those guys were going around and vandalizing shit, and they ended up getting caught putting googly eyes on things. People are up to no good.
I mean, the googly eye thing, like,
yeah, that's not like urinating on goods. That's destruction of property.
Yeah.
Right. It's disorderly conduct. It is indecent exposure. It's a bunch of things.
Yeah, and also if you're eating a bunch of asparagus, it's extra stinky. And the reason why asparagus is so stinky is because it actually is one of the...
I love asparagus.
It pulls the toxins out of your body, so that's why your piss is so thick and stuff after you eat.
Thank you for giving us a little health lesson there, Art.
Yeah,
I don't know if she was eating asparagus, but what I do know is 23-year-old Kelly Tedford, dumbass of the week. Bet you're not going to be pissing on anything anytime soon.
Pissing them bed sheets and county.
Yeah, I mean,
doing up there, girl.
I hope they throw the book at her and gets every charge that she is charged with, because it's just no good to be behaving that way.
No, it's no good to be behaving that way. Dumbass of the week for sure. That was a great lead article.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to dive into something a little scientific.
Okay.
I was surprised about this, and also not surprised at all. So, mice discovered giving first aid to unconscious mates in surprising display of empathy. So this one's a study that's coming out of the University of Southern California, and Li Zhang, who is a student there, was doing some experiments with mice where they would not euthanize one, but do anesthesia to one. So it's like kind of breathing, but unconscious. And then they would have mice that were on zero substances or any kind of effects. So what they would do is put this like passed out mouse in a cage with another mouse that was fully conscious for about 13-minute intervals. And it seemed like there was some interesting behaviors that were witnessed.
Like cannibalism?
No, like resuscitation.
Interesting.
Yes. So
with mice.
Yeah, the mice. So the mouse would groom the unconscious mouse.
Okay.
It would lick its face. And then this is a really interesting one. It would even open its mouth and pull its tongue out. So that's very similar to what humans do with the either way. Like, somebody has something blocking their airways,
right, like the Heimlich maneuver.
Yeah. So the mice are in here doing this
to each other.
Yeah, to each other.
Okay.
And so for 13 minutes, about 6 minutes of that time, the awake mouse was doing this, and they ran a bunch of different experiments. It sounded like if the mice knew each other or interacted with each other more frequently, then they would spend more time trying to resuscitate. There was also several experiments where and I don't know why they had to put this in there, but it was like a non-toxic ball that they put in the mouse's mouth that was like passed out.
Yeah.
And 80% of the time,
they came back.
The other mouse would pull the ball out of the mouth.
Wow.
So animals actually are trying to help one another. And it just reminds me of a video that I saw in like India where like a monkey hit an electric line, and then another monkey like basically like got it started again.
Burning on the line.
Yeah.
Burning on the line.
So really interesting article. Even mice want to help mice out. So
there's a reason that
would you have thought?
I wouldn't have thought that. But they're obviously pretty intelligent little creatures. They're more than just food for the snakes. I mean, they do medical experiments on them, lab rats, mice, all, we test shit out on them. Like they were one of the first that like got tested on LSD and some of those things many, many moons ago.
Mm-hmm.
But interesting stuff. I'm sure dogs would probably do some similar behavior. Like if a pack of dogs were together and one went down like that, I would imagine they would react the same, licking its face, kind of nipping at its toes or whatever, trying to get it to come back.
Well, yeah, and even if you're like a lazy owner and your dog needs to piss, it's going to try to wake you up.
If you're a lazy owner, yeah.
Like hitting the bed, like, get the fuck up.
And even that lazy dog still isn't going to act like the dumbass of the week and piss on any sort of goods or merchandise. It's going to hold it till it goes outdoors.
Yeah. So there's a little interesting fact, little science fact here on Happy Friday America. Mice will try to resuscitate other mice that are passed out or seem like they need help. So how interesting is that? I don't know. Maybe it's as interesting as the record of the week.
The record of the week, the record-breaking Rush record of the week.
Oh, Rush. Back at it again, man. This guy's a monster.
Once again, I'll tell the viewers here, if you haven't gone back and watched the Discussion Combustion episode with David Rush, we did that sometime in November. So if you just kind of scroll through the portfolio and watch it, this man's amazing. Super inspirational.
And humble.
Super humble.
Yeah.
He's
hardworking guy. He's a family guy, man. He's a good guy. You can tell.
And all he does is just grind. It never stops.
Breaks records, man.
And this one's intense. So again, scroll down in our show notes down below. Watch this video. There's a link to his YouTube video of him doing this exact record. Art, you had a chance to watch it. So
I did.
He has now set the new record. So he's on a balance board, right? Which is like, those
balance board.
Yeah, not the easiest thing to stand on, let alone what he's doing with it. So now he's on the balance board. He's got a bowling ball and 2 other balls that he ends up juggling, right, on this balance board. So the strength, the coordination, the mental focus. He got 243 catches, which is the ultimate new Guinness Book of World Record. He was dealing with tendonitis while it was going on. He said every catch was extremely painful and his biceps were on fire.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's like a regulation bowling balls weigh no less than 10 pounds.
And he did the 10-pounder, which is still quite a bit of weight.
Yeah.
You're juggling this other shit.
Yeah, and he was like,
and you're balancing.
And one of the other guys, one of the judges, like tried to hop on the balance board for half a second, and David's all like, he's like, grab onto my arm really tight, and the second he gets on there, he falls over.
That would be me.
Yeah, so I mean, no, we talked to David Rush on DCPC, like Kev saying, this guy is a beast. He likes to combine records, so he's a juggle maniac. He'll juggle while doing a stair stepper. He'll juggle while being on a balance board.
He'll juggle apples and take a bite out of them while he's juggling them.
Yeah, no, he's crushing it, man.
Yeah, he saw that.
And congratulations, Mr. Rush, for completing another Guinness World Record.
Yes, and thank you, Mr. Rush, once again, as I told you on our show, for giving me great content to bring to the viewers here on Happy Friday America. Hopefully we can get some more eyes and ears on it and create more opportunities for the man, the myth, the legend, David Rush.
Absolutely. And I really got to give it up to Accountable Kev this week, because you really held yourself accountable and did a lot of this script work this week. I came in and the would you rather, would you believe it, was already written. So I feel the fact that you put it in there, I feel like it's best that you read it off. But of course, we have to cover last week's would you rather results.
I knew you had a lot of irons in the fire this week, Art, and I was trying to get ahead of things.
Thank you.
We had some DCPC cancellations this week, so the focus shifted to Happy Friday.
We did.
That guest will be back with us next week, so I took it upon us to put one in. Of course, last week, Art, we asked the viewers, would you rather have bionic arms, bionic legs?
We both chose the legs.
America
went arms?
Split 50-50.
Shut up.
Back to their old ways, America. 50-50, leaving us hanging. I guess we tipped the scale a little bit because we were unanimous.
Yeah.
So we're going to say the overall are going with the legs.
Okay.
Once again, that is on our Twitter X at Happy Fry if you want to take those polls, or just drop a comment down below on the WYR Would You Rather.
Yes.
And that brings us to this week's Would You Rather. I still haven't made up my mind on this one, Art.
I made up my mind on it, so I'm going to ask it to you. I'm going to retract.
You're going to read my Would You Rather?
I'm going to read it because I'm already made up, and I want to watch you think.
Okay.
So, would you rather have perfect memory or be able to forget anything that you wanted? So basically, you could always remember everything, or you could choose to forget whatever you want. What are you going, Kev?
Well, as I was kicking around when I was putting this together, I have the memory of an elephant already. I can remember amazing dates, times, things, right? I feel like and that's an affirmation that I've used for many years.
And I'll second this. Memory. Like, yeah, no, definitely. You'll like pull up some stuff. Oh, that's guest. It was on episode 154. I'm like, how do you remember that?
Yeah, I have a pretty good memory. I'm fortunate for that. So I think with that in mind, I'm going to take the ability to forget anything I wanted at will.
Okay.
What are some examples of what I want to forget? I don't know. I'd have to fine tooth comb them, but not great experiences or whatever the case, maybe losing a loved one and what that was like. I understand that, those are a part like growing in life and stuff, but we got to pick one here, right? So, because perfect memory would be great too, but you're going to remember a lot of things.
Yeah. So we're splitting the fence here.
I like it.
I am going to completely my whole life is memorable. That's how I'm going. And then, all these memories and events, that's what shaped me. That's what made me who I am. And, So I'm going that way. So we're split.
I like that. I mean, here's what I would say about having the perfect memories. You could win a lot of trivia games because you're going to remember all that shit. You know, you remember if you have a perfect memory, you can spell every word properly. You would remember everything you've ever learned. So there is a lot of arguments to be made for the perfect memory.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, because the perfect memory is not really obtainable in reality as it is right now. But you could forget things right now in reality just by, overconsumption of alcohol.
Yeah, I forgot a lot of things, Art.
You know,
Throughout the years. So
some whole evenings you're like piecing together. You're piecing it together the next day. Like,
yeah, it's terrible.
Like what happened?
Muy terrible.
Yeah, no good.
No bueno.
Which way you going, America?
Let us know, America.
Yes, let us know. And Kevin's going to keep us moving here.
Yes.
You got a lot of mujeres articles.
Yes, this is another interesting one here, Art. So, if your last name is Null, if that happens to be something that you ride with, you might be having some difficult times with computer systems because when you put null into a computer, it automatically is programmed to indicate no value, right?
Okay.
Just like the Brits say, like null, Nord. It basically means nothing. It's void. So there's an article that was written about a woman named Nantra Null. Okay, that was her name. Who she took it by marrying into a family, the Null family, if you will, Burbank, California, and has now been running into so many issues to the point where it's obviously made a national news situation because anytime she puts in anything, I mean, think about how many times when you're doing something online, you got to go first and last name, and you're putting in Null, and then you go to hit next. It's like invalid. Sorry, you got to put something in there, because it's not taking it. Yeah. So what do you do in that scenario? I guess you could maybe throw your middle name in there. Like there's got to be ways around it. But this number one probably creates some security concerns, and it's got to be a huge pain in the ass. Whether you're doing a driver's license, anything that's attached to your last name is now being considered no value.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Because
it's like you could probably start spelling it with a unique phonetic U, like a U that has like a whoop above it or like something, but then it's technically not your correct spelling of your last name.
Right. So there's some issues here.
Did they find a way to like overcome this, or like?
Well, I think
it's just going on.
It's going on. I think bringing attention to it right now is what's going to ultimately. They're going to have to do something with the system.
How many Knowles are in the world, though?
There's got to be more than just this couple.
It has to be like over 100,000 Knowles.
The Knoll family.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know any Knowles. I know people that are of no value, but I don't necessarily know Null by name.
Those would be called the NPCs of the world.
The NPCs, they exist people, or as my brother refers to them, the backfill people. I've also heard them referred to as those. All you really have to do is just when you're walking through an airport or at the grocery store, just take a look around. You'll know exactly who we're talking about.
Yeah, it's those people that are upset in the Starbucks line. Those are the people that we're talking about here.
Or the ones that just look like they're just wandering around aimlessly, like they have they don't know what they're doing.
They literally, their brain functions off of pharmaceuticals only.
And alcohol. Alcohol fueled pharma.
And when you mix alcohol and pharma, dude, that's a lot of dogs in Boulder.
That's a lot of dogs in Boulder. That's a great inside joke now.
That is a good one. We're going to go into something inside, and I don't know if...
What are whales swallowing this week, Art?
I don't know if you saw that video.
I did not see it.
You haven't seen that?
Let me pull it up.
Well,
pull that up, Kev.
There was a video taken in southern Chile, of father and son duel out there, and not a null, but a duel. And
here it is.
Yeah. So basically what happens in this video is the father is videotaping his like 24-year-old son, and a humpback whale just comes up out of the water.
Watching it right now.
It comes up out of the water. Turn that thing down, huh? Comes up out of the water and then fucking just puts him in his mouth, gets the kid in the mouth, and then goes underneath the waves.
There it is. I see it.
Yeah. So what happened to this kid? He actually did survive. So because I saw this video, but I didn't know the results. So once I saw this pop up, I was like, dude, this is worth covering. This is Happy Friday material.
He's just sitting there watching this.
Well, I mean, what do you do?
You can't jump in there. It's a fucking whale.
What do you do?
Man.
And so the kid, the son, the 24-year-old, describes this experience. Wow. He's just kayaking, and then all of a sudden, like, it seems like this blackness starts to appear behind them, and when they turn their head around, they felt a slimy substance on their face, obviously the whale's mouth.
It's huge.
And then it just engulfed them and went under for just a tiny bit, but then the kayak and the life vest, fortunately, he was wearing a life vest. I don't know if he would have made it if he wasn't wearing that, but he does resurface. So That was an exciting video.
Wow,
I
that
mean,
is.
and being out there, look, that is not our environment.
No.
If we're out in the ocean, life is a frail, fragile process, and we have to be careful at all times. I'm just really happy that he was okay and that the whale wasn't injured as well. But there's an interesting quote at the end of this article, and then we'll open it up for questions. The reality is that the oceans are downhill of everything, and gravity never sleeps.
I like that.
I tend to say healthy whales, healthy oceans, healthy humans. So even if you don't like whales, which who doesn't like whales? Like, I don't even know why that's in
We
there.
literally do whale watching in my neck of woods.
There's still a value in understanding what's going on underneath our oceans, and whales are uh, barometers of ocean health. Barometers?
Yeah, barometer.
Barometers of ocean health. So crazy. I mean, you just saw
I
the
just
video.
watched the video.
What were your reactions, man?
Well, one, the thing's fucking massive. Every time I see whales, I forget how big they are. Absolutely incredibly huge. I mean, you think about its mouth when it opens up. I mean, it's a lot of dogs in Boulder. And it's number one, that's my first thought. Second thought is this kid lived.
He lived.
He lived.
Yeah.
So that's pretty incredible. Obviously, like you said, the life jacket and the kayak itself probably caused the whale to spit it out, right? Because it didn't swallow it. It just put it in its mouth.
Well, yeah, it's like, you're going to eat something and all of a sudden you're chewing on a toothpick.
Well, I mean, that doesn't happen. I put it in my mouth myself. And so before that goes completely off the rails, pretty incredible story. I would encourage the viewers to watch that video. I just watched on NPR.
Yeah.
So credible news source there. And there's an interview, which I was listening to before you told me to turn it down.
What are you doing over there?
It's the digital era, Art.
You gotta get this thing under wraps over there.
Bring that over here.
You can't be having that. That's bullshit.
So I'll be wearing earbuds.
Hit that button.
The bullshit button. Folks, we have things happening here on Happy Friday. It's amazing. And I'll tell you what else is amazing, Art. The New York Yankees, not my favorite team, of course, are changing policy. Okay, this dates back to 1973. You couldn't have a beard.
Oh.
He played for the New York Yankees.
That's like makeup for men.
Makeup for men. We've had some discussions about beards this week, you and I. And the New York Yankees are reversing this policy. It dates back to 1973 after a group of investors, everyone knows the name George Steinbrenner and his involvement with the Yankees, basically said, look, we're going to be clean cut. We're going to set the standard, right? And this was in the 70s. So
yeah.
I grew up in New England. Gillette is headquartered in Massachusetts. Shaving is a big thing there. Anytime we have someone from New England, we talk about that. Like Boston people, you either have a mega beard in Boston or you're clean shaved to go to work. Excuse me. So now, these guys with these $300+ million contracts, are the amount of money these baseball players are getting paid, can now rock a beard, but it's not just any beard. It has to be clean cut and maintained. You can't be out there looking like an animal.
Yeah.
Right? You got to tighten it up.
Yeah, so I wonder what the standards are for a clean-cut beard.
Probably mine.
I mean, it is looking really nice.
Thank you. Appreciate
Your
that.
hair's looking good, too.
Thank you. Shout out to Susie.
I'm looking sharp.
Yeah, appreciate that.
But the beard is one of those things because it seems like men without beards want a beard. Men with beards love their beard. I have shaven down. Like, this is pretty close. This is like a 0 I did here. I'm majoring.
It's still facial hair, though.
I'm majoring in the stash. I'm minoring in the beard.
You're not clean shaven.
And it's not clean shaven. And my point there is that I feel more secure if I have some fuzz on my face.
Okay.
And that's just, a personal preference. And there's a lot of guys that look great out there, clean shaven as well. But,
like Joe Rogan?
Nothing. Yeah, like JoJo. But there's nothing quite, our good friend. But there's nothing quite like a beard, and like if you needed to shape your face a little bit as a dude, like you can do that, and it helps accentuate. It's like putting on, a highlighter or something.
It's makeup for men.
Makeup for men.
But it grows naturally. We don't have to put it on.
So yeah, I'm all about it. Like,
yeah, I think it's a good policy.
Yeah.
I remember growing up.
Bring
the beards back. Because you look at a lot of other baseball clubs, and they got mega beards. Like Charlie Blackmon here in Denver. He's now retired, of course, but my understanding is he's still going to have involvement with the team. He had a mega beard going on out there. So this was more of a New York Yankee thing. Now, the richest team, all their fucking World Series, now they can have beards. I'm about it. I think it was stupid that they couldn't to begin with. And so that is my closing article. Art. We're on to the weekend.
We're on to the weekend. You're going to be doing some fun stuff this weekend. What do you got going on?
Yeah, I got some exciting weekend coming up here. A nice long weekend.
Yeah.
I'll be up at the Ameristar tomorrow with a beautiful woman, and looking forward to that.
fantastic. So you're gonna roll some dice.
Gonna roll some dice, probably on the craps table.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick to craps, maybe a little blackjack. And
see, I could get behind blackjack
and baccarat.
Okay,
those will be the three
games. Which one's baccarat again?
But it's the banker or the dealer is what you're betting on.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's kind of like a 50-50 game. It's similar to roulette odds. So there's a lot going on up there. It should be a good time, man.
I lost like $200 in roulette in less than 15 minutes not too long ago.
Very easy to do.
Yeah, because I don't want to bet $2. I'm trying to throw $20 down and let me double that big time, So that's where I usually fail is I don't want to make the small bets. Because if I win, I want it to fucking hit.
But the thing is too, I don't know if you've gambled on prime time, which would be a Saturday afternoon. Mm-hmm. Minimums are 25.
Oh, okay. So that's my kind of time.
Yeah, but that's minimum.
Hey, I'm
prime time minimum. I'll tell you this. It's going to be gorgeous this weekend. Art.
It is
70 degrees in Denver. It's going to be close to 60 up where I'm going. So enjoy the outdoors. We're starting to get the opportunity to do that, get the smokers out. But remember, folks, if you live here in Colorado, we ain't out of the woods yet. We know we're going to get a March blizzard here coming up probably in the next few weeks.
Probably on my birthday.
Always around your birthday, Art.
Yeah, always happens.
The amount of times we've been moving studios in the month of March and it was blizzarding out. So we're going to enjoy it. It's a good sign. We're starting to stay lighter later. Let's enjoy the outdoors.
Yes. And to all the men out there specifically that are in a relationship, I challenge you to take your girl on a date. You pick the place. You pick the time. Keep it mysterious. Tell her what she needs to wear so she can not think about anything, show up, look gorgeous, and just treat your girl. That's what I suggest everyone does this weekend.
I think that's great advice, Art, for all the folks out there. Valentine's Day's passed. So, just because it's not Valentine's Day doesn't mean you can't court and date your lovely significant other.
I'll say this. This is a bit personal. In my vows to my wife, I said that I want to keep this relationship fresh.
I love it.
So I will continue to court and date you for the rest of my life.
That's a big vow.
In my vows, bro. It's that important, and it's so fun to keep the mystery alive. Where we go?
How excited you get.
Where are we going? Oh, well, you'll find out when we get there, sweetie.
It's fun.
You got to have fun with it, man. You got to have fun with it.
You got to have that fun.
Have fun.
You got to have that fun. And I'll tell you what. I'll tell you who's having that fun is Austin, Texas this weekend. NASCAR. We're coming in Circuit of the Americas. We are running the Formula One configuration this time, so that's going to be interesting. NASCAR kind of did the different configuration the past few years. If folks don't realize this, we do turn right. We run several road courses. Art, you know this. You've been around me in the sport a long time. Mash the gas. I don't know if you
let's
can
go.
See that.
It's the mic's in the way.
Mic's in the way. New polos are
there. We go.
MTG baby. Monday night. NASCAR Sky, Jeff Davis, myself are going to break down all of the action. Woo! But if you're in the Austin, Texas area, that city's growing big time. Podcasting, comedy scene, racing, everything. If you're looking for something to do, the weather's going to be fantastic. Get out there tomorrow or Sunday and go support some fantastic American racing.
I love it. Yeah, and definitely check out Mash the Gas. And actually, NASCAR is actually pretty interesting thing to watch. I think it's more interesting than baseball, but not that the beards are back now. Kev, where can people find us?
All right, America. Well, Instagram and Facebook at Happy Friday USA, Twitter X at Happy Fry USA. That's where the polls go up. Promo clips, other fun things. Send us a show idea, segment idea, fun things to do. Fricashin, as we're about to close us out here. It's the weekend time. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Let's do this.